There's nothing better than being able to take vegetables from your garden straight onto your plate and know that you're getting all those vitamins which you're not getting from anything in the shops. Some of the vitamins are completely lost by the time you get it, and some are largely diminished. So to know that you're having that and there's no spray on it or anything, I see videos of some of the sprays that get used in the agriculture practices, and I think, my goodness, are you getting more chemical than vegetable there or what? So it is rewarding. A lot of vegetables taste so different. There's some that I've never liked because they've tasted awful, and I've had them out of the garden and think I'm not going to like this, and they taste great. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd like that. I've begun the big messy cleanup. So one bed done, and in it I found volunteer beetroot, which were down there in the ground too. So I've moved them up there and put them in a bit of a clump. I don't generally do monoculture, but I like to clump things so I can find them a bit easier. And I've cleared all this bed. I still have an oxalis issue. You can see the flowers just here. They still pop up during the autumn time, but I let them go, pull them out, and use them as green manure. I'll never get on top of them, but they cover the earth while I can't get to the garden during those cold months. And my soil is improving, so not too worried about it. So I've I've surface dug everything up and left the plants in there that I wanted to leave in there. Over there I've got yacon, which I've left one to keep going and not harvest. So I've left the feeding shoots on it, and I have pulled one up, which I'll show you in a minute. The pineapple sage is wanting to keep growing in that spot, so I just keep cutting it right back to a small plant. Just let it go for now. The alyssum is self-sown, and so a bit of colour in there. See, I still haven't quite got all of this. That's the heads of the oxalis. I missed that bit. So there's a bit of spring onion from last season, the salad burnet, and I think this is silver beet or Swiss chard. My walking stick kale are going strong. We have a bit of aphids on it, but I'll just hose them off, and some bad bits I kind of clip off and give to the chickens. And that's one bed done. Now I'm deciding what to put in there now. I want to actually plant seeds that I can put in now. We're the last day of winter technically in Melbourne, but it's been windy weather, but pretty mild, as far as cold. So I'm going to think about what I'm going to put in there, and I'll fill up that, and I've decided to work one bed at a time. Instead of trying to weed everything, have everything ready, I'm just going to do one bed at a time. When I finish that bed, move on to the next. And that way the weeds are like chaos, as you can see, but the bees are in here having an absolute field day. They appreciate the flowers, and even the weed flowers. They're in and out that oxalis flower, and all the parsnip that's gone to seed, and they're having a lovely time, and they know my garden is a place to come and visit, which I want for when my vegetables flower, and I want them here for the zucchini and the pumpkin and all of those. So the chickens are having a field day with all the weeds as I pull them out, and this is the yacon that I pulled up. Some of the tubers I broke and I fed to the chickens. Incredibly healthy vegetable. If you've not looked it up, it's called ground apple or yacon, and they're the feeding tubers. All of one little plant will give you lots of little plants in the next season to divide up and share. It's apparently got anti-cancer properties too, so it's probably one of the most healthiest plants to grow according to my research anyhow, and I'm no expert, but you can look it up yourself. So these feeding tubes are crisp like a chestnut, like a water chestnut, but when they're left for a few days they are sweet. My grandson loves them. So yeah, so I'll be taking those feed tubers off this one plant. I've got them throughout the garden in different spots, and but we'll just harvest this for now. We'll just harvest as we need it. No point harvesting it all because these do not keep very well, so kind of harvest as you want to eat them. But they are shooting now, so it's a good time to pull them up. So we've got a few snow peas. We're starting to pick them off just a couple of plants that grew, but I need to really plant some more. And this is an all-season cabbage that I took the main cabbage off. It grew another little baby, which I actually cut off the other day and gave it to the chickens. And then I've left these parts growing, and it's trying to flower, which means I can keep it for seed if I want. But all of this is edible, so I'll probably harvest this and before I actually pull the plant, well, not pull it, I cut it off just below the roots. Oh look, there's another oxalis head hiding. That's after I've pulled it. They snap at the head, and then you pull them and they snap at the root, and the corn stays in the ground. Unfortunately, you never get them all out, but yeah, so I will do that before I cut it just below the surface and let the roots compost back down into the soil and get a little bit more food out of it, not just one cabbage. And I'll keep an eye on the spring onions and start thinking about cutting some of them, just, you know, kind of about there, and taking the tops and eating the tops so that they bush out. And over in my pots in this section, I'm just showing you one section in this video, I've got what seems to be, the alyssum has self-sown. We've got some weeds in there. I think we've got a bit of parsley, or it could be a carrot, because there was carrot, I don't know, I think it's parsley. It's parsley. But underneath is Jerusalem artichokes in this pot. They're probably pot bound and desperately in need of pulling up. I didn't pull them up last time when I should have, but they still grow, so they're pretty robust plants. Or vegetables, but we eat them in minimum quantities. It affects my husband a lot. I can eat them and I can tolerate them, but my husband doesn't like them. And spring onions, I collected the seeds off these when they went to seed last time. I've got those to sprinkle around in the garden, but I probably need to cut these back so we actually get onions. It's trying to flower again. I find it hard to resist these flowers because they're so pretty. So they give me joy for the flowers as well as for the food. And I'm the only onion eater between my husband and I. He can't tolerate any form of onion. So he can have garlic, but that's it. So I can only eat so much onion. So I enjoy the flowers as well. And this is the other pot of Jerusalem artichokes. You can see them under there. So I'll probably lift this pot up. There's a onion. I've got a feeling that's a walking Egyptian onion that I put in. Got pulled out, I found it on the ground, and I've put it back in there. And this was in the garden, I can't remember what was in that, so I've just left it there. I think it's the same with that. I think they had, what have we got? Yeah, there was tomatoes in there that didn't grow last time. So I'm just checking nothing else is in there. But I've just left it there for now. And that's just one section done. So the other night when I couldn't sleep, at 3 a.m. in the morning, I pulled a lot of seeds out and went through a lot of my seeds. So I've got some over here to pop into pots to grow inside on my heat mat soon. But I've got a little section over here of things I would prefer to sow directly. And some of these can be sown now, and also some flowers. If you didn't see the last video, I was offline with my garden and I wasn't in my garden for a period of months And the video before explains why it's in such a mess and neglected. But I'm back and I've got some flowers to put in a very special spot, so I don't have to be harvesting in that spot for that reason. And yeah, so there's some flowers. Also, the echinacea, I did grow echinacea and I lost it when we moved the wire bed. So I'm going to plant some more echinacea directly because it's still cool, and echinacea needs a stratification process. So you either need to pop them in the fridge for a period of time or cold enough weather for them to come up for you. So I'm going to make sure that I get several echinacea seeds in to give it a chance to sow, because I really would like that plant. Yes, and then I've got some little pots here with seeds in it. These little things you get from the supermarket, and they really don't grow well in those pots. They're pretty much a guaranteed fail. So I'm just going to use the seeds out of that. I've got some chamomile and basil that I want to plant under my asparagus, in amongst my asparagus. So I'm going to plant some herbs to share the garden with the asparagus plants. I also have some parsley seeds from my own parsley plant here, and some older seeds that I'm just going to throw in the same area. I do have parsley growing that's self-sowing happily, which is great, but I'll put these things, I'll just use the seeds up, you know, no point saving seeds if you're not going to use the seeds. And dill is something I haven't managed to grow yet, so I'm going to give that another go a bit earlier this year, and hopefully, although it says the temperature 18 to 22, so I might just like maybe half of them, and then try half later. And I've got this big yellow zucchini. It's not time to plant zucchinis now outside, but I saved this from one of my plants. So I grew it not last year, the year before, and they didn't do too well because the soil hadn't been improved much. Then last year they went gangbusters, and it was a fabulous vegetable. I liked the yellow ones better than the green zucchini as far as flavour. So I really want to grow them again this year. So I'm going to split this open soon. I don't know if they're trying to, sometimes when you split them open and they're mature like this, the seed has already sprouted, ready to grow. If that's the case, I'll try some in the garden early, and I'll try some in pots, because there's nothing to lose. And I did actually plant at different times than recommended for Melbourne last year, and I did better with some vegetables than others that planted at the recommended times. So it's a matter of watching your garden, seeing what responds, watching your volunteers in particular to see where they come up, because they usually tell you when it's time. So I've got some nasturtium seeds there, say from my plant I want to try, and some sunflowers from the few that survived. Now I have critter issues that stop me growing a lot of sunflowers, but we keep trying. I also have some walking Egyptian onions, some baby ones, the little ones that I probably need to throw in the ground. I was very late doing garlic and my elephant garlic. I'm going to grab those and put them in. These old seeds, they probably won't grow. And what do we got here? Oh, I collected, what do we got? Oh, these are beetroot seeds that I collected from my own plant last year. So I want to put more beetroot in. There's some broad bean seeds. They're popping up on their own from seeds that I missed when I collected these. So there's broad bean seeds hiding in here. Put them in. This beetroot is particularly beautiful in colour and flavour, and I didn't let one go to seed, I don't think, or I forgot where I put them, and so I let some beetroot go to seed, but I don't think I got this one. So I've got some seeds here still. I want to plant them while they're still relatively fresh. There's some corn there. I'm undecided where to put. What have I got? Carrot seeds, parsnips. Parsnips, you need fresh seeds, so these were collected in March 23. I need to get them down to see if it's a time to do parsnip seeds. I'll throw them all in and hope for the best. And daikon radishes. I did let one go to seed. in bed 1, which is the one I just showed you, and I'm going to plant more of them because they are massive vegetables that can be used for cooking. I don't use a lot of, eat a lot of fermented foods, like the kimchi and stuff. I can only eat so much. But daikon radishes are beautiful cooked, baked, roasted. And so I definitely want some more in them. Easy to grow, quick to grow, and good value. And I've got some peas here. Now peas, I find if I put peas in the garden, I don't get hardly any because the mice get in underneath the dirt and they get in. So I always start my peas now inside. I let the pea sprout first and then I plant them. So I have more luck. So that's about all I've got out at the moment. These are old seeds that I don't think will, that's not old. Kohlrabi, I want to try again, didn't have any luck. And there's some old seeds that I will just throw somewhere. And if they grow, they grow. They don't, they don't. And there's a few more, but I decided this year I've just got to be careful how much I plant because I don't have time for it all. I've got the brassicas here, but I will start them in pots, so they're kind of to the side. That's for another time. And the final thing is these sweet potato cuttings that have been months and months and months in these jars, and I'm surprised, sitting on the windowsill, barely surviving, and I'm going to plant them and try for sweet potatoes. So I'll plant them when it warms up, soon as it warms up, although I'm going to put these in soil now, give them a chance to actually survive. I can't see any vines yet in my garden from last year's that I planted, and one pot that I dug up was just mush, so we didn't get any sweet potatoes. I don't know if there's any sweet potatoes in the garden, but I suspect they didn't succeed. And I'll plant this pineapple top as well. But that's about it for now. So I started trying to do half an hour in the garden weeding. The other day I got out and it was an hour and a half and I suffered for 3 days. I was so sore. I'm not used to it. So I'm going to try and get out more regularly and just do a bit and work my way through the weeds and just add things. But even after I did that first lot of weeding, I got really excited about my veggies again. You know, there's nothing better than being able to take vegetables from your garden straight onto your plate and know that you're getting all those vitamins which you're not getting from anything in the shops. Some of the vitamins are completely lost by the time you get it, and some are largely diminished. So to know that you're having that and there's no spray on it or anything, you know, I see videos of some of the sprays that get used and the agriculture practices, and I think, my goodness, are you getting more chemical than vegetable there or what? So it is rewarding. A lot of vegetables taste so different. There's some that I've never liked because they've tasted awful, and I've had them out of the garden and think I'm not going to like this, and they taste great. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I didn't think I'd like that. And one of the things especially is tomatoes. There's a huge difference between tomatoes that are homegrown. So it's, I think that's part of the reason I couldn't sleep the other night, because I'm going, what am I going to plant? Like, I'm opening up space now. It's like a blank canvas for me. And as some of you know, I'm an artist, and it's like, what can I create in that space, and what will grow and what will happen? And it's a bit of an adventure. So I think the spark for the garden has come back. So as I divide these and say goodbye for this video, I just hope that you enjoyed that, and that you're still persevered. You're still there if you've frequented my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome, and I hope to see you all next time. Please like and subscribe, share. You know the drill. Bye for now.